this weekend, just how much of my gratitude just was overflowing. And I was thinking about how much gratitude I have for this community. And I was thinking about last week at Ask the Minister, we had those questions about God within and God without, right? And I had a number of people reach out to me and say, like, that's really got me thinking, right? Because in unity, what we understand is the I am that we are, that I am divine. And yet, when we are out in the world, there certainly feels as if there's a larger sense of God, yes? And for me, how I understand that is through each one of you. Each one of you is that God without for me. Does that make sense? And we show up for each other, and we get to connect with each other, and we get to be present with each other. And it is so important. It's important in a way that I don't think, when we're in part of spiritual community, I think we take something for granted, right? We take the fact that we have a sense of belonging, that we have a sense of connection, and we have a purpose. We read our vision statement. We have a purpose. We are here to be a place of awakening. We are here to be a place of healing. We are here to be a place of wholeness. And as I say yes to that, and you say yes to that, then the world is saying yes to that. So that we are actually creating a world that makes a difference, that like we make a difference. Mother Teresa says the most terrible poverty is loneliness and the feeling of being unloved. There is a loneliness epidemic. It's rampant. Japan, Britain, the UK, they've actually created ministers of loneliness. They are cabinet positions to tackle and to try to navigate this epidemic of loneliness that is predominantly in Western developed countries, but it's also India is very high on the loneliness scale. We are very high on the loneliness scale. So social isolation and loneliness have been linked to increased risk for heart disease, 29% more likely to have heart disease. Stroke, 32% more likely to have a stroke. Type 2 diabetes, depression and anxiety, addiction, suicidality, self-harm, dementia by 50%, and an earlier death. Loneliness isn't just something that it's like, oh, whatever. This is powerfully impacting all of us. All of us. And it costs a lot of money. They're saying that loneliness, this is all from the CDC, by the way, loneliness costs the US economy $406 billion a year, and an estimated $6.7 billion in all the Medicare costs for socially isolated older adults. What could we do with $12.7 billion to make this a planet that truly worked for everyone? So why is community and connection so important, right? What is it about community and connection that is just absolutely vital? So the CDC says it improves our ability to recover from stress, anxiety, and depression. It promotes healthy eating, physical activity, and healthy weight. It improves our sleep, well-being, and quality of life, and it prevents death from chronic diseases. Is this something we would like? Is this something that we would like to have in our life? More of this? More of this. But the Surgeon General says, you can feel lonely even if you have a lot of people around you, because loneliness is about the quality of your connection. How many people in here have been in a room full of people and felt completely isolated and alone? Now, I happen to think that we are positioned in a really powerful way to meet this pandemic. That spiritual community has something that is essential towards meeting the needs, rampant needs for all of us. It's not just people who think they want to be spiritual. We're talking about creating a space of connection. So, social connectedness, and what the definition of that is, meaningful and regular social exchanges, sense of support from family, friends, and others in the community, sense of belonging. This is part of our vision, mission, and core values, that sense of belonging. Having close bonds with others, feeling loved, cared for, valued, and appreciated by others. And this is a big one, having more than one person who is your support system. This is what it means to have social connectedness. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't have this all the time. I have it some of the time, but I don't have it all the time. Can I get an amen on that? What if we actually made that our goal? What if our goal was to be that inclusive and to make the healing part of our ministry to navigate this pandemic of loneliness? How would you change your behavior towards each other and towards yourself if you were actually placing as a priority this type of social connectedness? Now, introverts don't freak out. Okay? Don't freak out if you're an introvert. Even if you're an introvert, you still need social connectedness. You may not need it as often as the extroverts do, but you still need it. Can you feel that? So take care of yourself. I'm not saying go out and all of a sudden rewrite your entire personality, but notice where the patterns. So the studies have shown that this was happening before COVID. All COVID did was exacerbate it. So if you are finding it challenging to step out into the social world, because let's face it, it's awkward. Coming to a spiritual community for the first time is awkward. Does anybody in here remember? It's awkward. It's weird. You got a bunch of people sitting around, they're all chatting and talking, and they all know each other, and you're standing there going, whoa. All the little inside jokes that are running around. How can we become more open and more welcoming? Truly more open and more welcome. People with stronger social bonds have a 50% increased likelihood of survival than those who have fewer social connections. We are really talking about, at the most essential level, life. Life itself. Now, life in unity is a power. It's a capacity that we have life. It is the energizing force of all there is. And that energizing force needs social connection. When we separate ourselves out too much, we forget that we are being sourced and renewed by something that is bigger than us. When we step into community, we are stepping into a place where we are enlivened. You're going to experience things that are outside what you thought or wanted to experience. That's true. But that's what keeps us alive. That's what keeps us growing. That's what keeps us from stagnating. My mom I was so proud of her because she was in a play, and it wasn't just a play, it was like a song and dance review kind of thing. And she said to me, she goes, "I can't sing and dance at the same time." And I said, "Yes, you can, you just have to practice. You just have to practice, and once the dance gets into your muscle memory, then you'll be able to sing and dance at the same time." But what she had to do was she had to build new neural pathways. And it was hard right? It wasn't easy. It wasn't something that came to her 1, 2, 3. She had to work at it. And by the time that show opened, guess what? My mom could sing and dance at the same time. But that's what's keeping her young. The fact that she's forcing herself to engage in activities that challenge her, that aren't easy. You know, we think that as we get older, life is supposed to get easier. Well, life is supposed to have more ease, but it's not easier. Because otherwise, we're stagnating. We're not moving forward. We're just stuck in our sweet little space, everything exactly the way we know that it has always been. So the CDC has put out they call them the 6 pillars. And a lot of them are like, do more research and but the 6th one is cultivate a culture of connection. Isn't that what we do? Yeah. We cultivate a culture of connection, true, deep connection. A connection and a place, we talked about this last week, where we're a big tent. We welcome you wherever you are. I was saying to somebody last week, take what works for you. And the things that don't work for you, just let them go for now. Don't worry about it. Take what works. Take what is somehow supporting you to cultivate this culture of inner connection, because we believe in that big time, but also this outer connection. And this community really is amazing in terms of how that connective culture happens, but we can be bigger than we are right now. Can you feel that? We can connect with more than we are connecting with right now. We can connect in a way that, might challenge us, might be like my mom trying to learn how to sing and dance at the same time. But at the end of it, she was up there on that stage, singing and dancing her little heart out. Now, isn't that worth it all? Yeah, totally worth it all. Community, belonging, connection, and purpose. And this purpose piece, I think, is really key. Because we do have a purpose. Yes, we are looking for how we personally can live a more joyful life, right? No, let's not lie, right? We're here because we want to live a more joyful life. We want to live a life that feels more easeful and more graceful, but our purpose is bigger than just ourself. Remember I read that quote a couple weeks ago about that if we get too internal, it's spiritual narcissism? That we have to step out. We have to be in the world, caring about the world, not just our own small little part of it. And trust me, I know that that is overwhelming, and I know that that is intimidating, and I know that sometimes we feel powerless in the face of everything that's happening on this planet that is just so out of alignment with the truth of what we know. But this is why we come together in community, so that we can strengthen each other, so that we can support each other, so that we can step out. The choir, we're going to a prison. Is it next week? Week after? The 10th of December. We're going to go sing. I'm going with them. We're going to go sing. I'm not going to sing. We're going to go sing. We're going to go sing in a prison because this is important. Is that challenging? Does that ask us to step into something that is potentially very uncomfortable? Yeah. Are we going to do it with love and with that awareness that we are here to be a place for love and transformation? And in that process of being a place for transformation, I am crystal clear that I'm not just bringing transformation to somebody else, but that those folks who are there in that particular locale at this particular moment in their life, because it doesn't define them. It is just this particular experience right now that they are going to change me. They are going to change me. And I am so excited for that change because I have no idea what it's going to be. Isn't that fun? It's a little terrifying, but it's fun. And that's the place we want to live into. Terrified, but fun. Put that on our website. Unity in Marin, where you can be terrified while you're having fun. Brené Brown says, loneliness is the feeling we have when we are not connected to something larger than ourselves. And I really believe that. I believe that that sense of loneliness that we feel is when we forget. So we can forget the big picture of the fact that we are never alone, we're never separate, there's only one power, there's only one presence, there's only one life. So I am not the exception. Everybody say that. I am not the exception. You're not the exception. I know you think you might be, but you're not the exception. So we can feel cut off from the wholeness that is the truth of who we are. That is larger than just little old Deanne. But I can also feel cut off because I've lost sight of the vision. I've lost sight of what it is, the purpose for being here. It is so much bigger than my own personal sense of joy and fulfillment. Take a breath with me on that. It is so much bigger than my personal sense of joy and fulfillment. Because how can I actually truly feel joyful and fulfilled when I know that there is places where that is the furthest from the truth for what people are experiencing, and there is no separation? So as I heal this place within myself, as I anchor vision, as I anchor purpose, as I say yes to being a place where spiritual evolution happens, where the realization of our divine potential creates a space for transformation, for healing, allows me to have the courage to say, yes, I'm going to step into that prison, allows me to have the courage to step out into something that I probably never would have thought I was saying yes to. And in that, I am changed. And it's just like that, fairy bells. Fairy bells happen when we're changed like that. It's exactly what it feels like. That laughter is the laughter of recognition, yeah? Because that is what it feels like. There's a sense of freedom. There's a sense of release. There's a sense of openness. So yeah, allow yourself to be terrified so that you can step out into that space, that place, and again, look around. Everybody here is supporting you, is holding you. So if you feel like you have tripped or fallen, that ad just came to mind. Those of a certain generation know exactly what ad I'm talking about, right? Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. Sometimes we can't get up on our own. Has anybody in here ever experienced that? But that's what spiritual community is for. To pick us up and to hold us in love and in light and knowing our wholeness. Spiritual community is not going to walk for you, but spiritual community will know the truth that you can walk. And that whenever you step into that is perfect. We're going to love you through it all. And if we can, I was working with a client the other day. She was talking about something where she was saying, I can finally forgive them. And I said, it's because, and she looked at me, she goes, don't say it. I said, it's because, and she said, I can forgive myself. But can you feel the reciprocity? What we're doing within is what we're invited to do without. So don't get caught. I know that we spend a lot of time on the I am. But remember that the Godness that is everywhere, the beingness that is everywhere, is also every single person in this room, every plant on this planet, every animal on this planet, every mineral, every ore, everything. That is what we are being called to be the stewards of, the caretakers of each other. I call it the divine showing up for itself. Are you willing to show up for each other? Are you willing to show up for yourself? Yeah. Let's take this into a time of meditation. Jeremy's like, whoa. And I just want to invite everyone. I really want you to think about what the face of God means to you. And yeah, if you get tripped up by face and God and you're like, oh no, it's an anthropomorphized God, change it to whatever works for you. Spirit, love, light, grace, joy. They're all God, quote unquote, by another name. And as you open your heart, just allow yourself to step into that place, that space of deep gratitude and appreciation. Gratitude for all the places where you have connection. Gratitude for all the places where you are supported. And let me just say, for anyone who is listening to my voice, if you feel something rise within you that says, I am not supported, know that we here at Unity in Marin support you. No one is alone. Breathing into that space, that place that can hold everything and everyone. Place yourself there too. And just allow yourself to let go of whatever that narrative is. Whatever does not serve that space, that place of connection. The true connection both within and without. And as we rest here in the silence for a moment, I'm just inviting you to allow yourself to be open to how is that connection going to show up? How can you be the place that is connection? Let's rest in the silence together. How good it is to be still and know. That one life, that one breath, that one power, that is my life, that is your life, that is all life in this moment, just giving thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Gratitude overflowing for all the points of connection in our lives. Gratitude overflowing for all the intention to create new points of connectivity in our life. And I see and I know that we as a community stand as an inoculation against this loneliness pandemic. And that as we are invited to show up more fully and more powerfully with more awareness, that we do so with so much love and joy in our heart. How grateful I am for each one of you, truly, deeply. And so it is. Amen.